Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Podcast and Chill on the Learn English podcast channel. I'm Leo.
And I'm Gwen. It's great to have you with us again. Today, we're talking about something that affects a lot of us in everyday life.
Yep, we're going to answer a question that many people have been thinking about.
What's that question, Leo?
Are you a toxic person?
I've seen that question a lot on the internet lately.
A toxic person is someone who often makes others feel bad, sad, or stressed.
So, how can we tell if we're being toxic or if someone around us is?
That's exactly what we'll talk about today. Stay with us to find out if there's a toxic person in your life, or if it might be you. So, let's start by recognizing toxic behaviors. Gwen, what exactly are toxic behaviors?
Good question, Leo. Toxic behaviors are when someone often brings negativity into situations.
Can you explain more?
Sure, it could mean they always talk about bad things. They might speak badly about others and don't care how others feel.
Is it like when someone always finds something wrong with what you're doing, no matter how hard you try?
Exactly. Or when they constantly make you feel like you're not good enough.
That sounds so terrible.
Another sign is if they never listen to what others have to say and just push their opinions onto everyone else.
That can really bring people down.
If you notice these signs in someone, or even in yourself, it might be time to think about it.
Okay, now I have a really interesting question for you, Gwen.
What is that, Leo?
So, it can be quite easy to know if someone is being toxic, but how do we know if we're being toxic?
That brings us to our next point, self-reflection.
What is self-reflection?
Self-reflection is all about asking yourself some simple but honest questions.
What questions?
You can ask yourself, do I often make others feel bad? Or do I usually complain or talk badly about people?
Those are tough questions.
But they're so important. It's about being honest with yourself.
All right, so what if my answers are yes and yes?
If you're often talking about negative things, you might need to make some changes.
I would feel very bad if I knew I was a toxic person.
Well, it's not about feeling bad. It's about seeing these behaviors and deciding to improve them.
Everyone has bad days, but if it's happening all the time, it's worth thinking about, right?
Exactly, Leo. The thing is, toxic behaviors don't just affect you. They affect everyone around you too.
Please tell me more about how badly it can affect other people.
You know, Leo, toxic behaviors are like a wildfire.
What do you mean?
Well, they spread quickly. People around a toxic person might start to feel sad, anxious, or stressed out too.
I've seen it happen. One negative comment, and suddenly everyone feels bad.
Exactly. And over time, this can really hurt relationships.
I bet friends might start avoiding you.
And coworkers might not want to work with you.
And family members might want to stay away from you and all of your negativity.
That's why it's so important to be aware of how your actions affect others.
So, if people seem unhappy around me, does that mean I'm a toxic person?
Not necessarily, Leo. But if that happens, you should really think about how you act around people.
I see.
You can choose to be more positive, listen more, and be more supportive.
Affect, meaning to change or influence something. Example, the weather can affect your mood. Recognizing, meaning knowing who someone is or what something is because you have seen them before. Example, she's recognizing her old school friends. Behaviors, meaning the way people act or behave. Example, his behavior in class is very polite. Complaining, meaning talking about things that are wrong or make you unhappy. Example, she is complaining about the bad service at the restaurant. Avoiding, meaning keeping away from something or someone. Example, he is avoiding crowded places. How do you know if a person is being toxic? A person is being toxic if they always bring negativity into situations, often criticize others, talk badly about people, and don't care about other people's feelings. They might also never listen to others and only push their own opinions. Why does Gwen compare toxic behaviors to a wildfire? Gwen compares toxic behaviors to a wildfire because both spread quickly and can have a big negative impact. So, what exactly should we do if we find out we are being toxic?
Great question, Leo. The next step is taking responsibility.
Taking responsibility?
If we realize that we've been negative or hurtful, we need to take responsibility for it.
So, I have to admit, I made mistakes. That would be hard.
Actually, it's a sign of strength. If you've hurt someone, the best thing you can do is to take responsibility and apologize.
How can it help, though?
It shows that you care about the other person's feelings and that you're willing to make things right.
Seems like a sincere apology can go a long way.
And remember, it's not just about saying sorry. It's also about making a real effort to change.
Got it? The apology doesn't mean much if we keep making the same mistakes, right?
Right. And this brings us to our next point, practicing empathy.
What is that?
It means putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
All right, Gwen. This actually sounds challenging.
You should ask yourself, how would I feel if someone said or did this to me?
And then,
When you start thinking about how others feel, you're less likely to be negative or hurtful.
empathy is such a powerful tool. But how can I show my empathy?
Well, it's very simple. Just listening can make a huge difference.
Just listening?
Yes, Leo, just listening.
But I've always listened to others.
The point is to listen without interrupting.
You mean no interrupting?
Exactly. It shows that you respect the other person's thoughts and feelings.
When I understand where people are coming from, it's easier to be more kind.
Correct. So keep that in mind.
But Gwen, listening feels quite passive. Are there any ways to show empathy more actively?
Certainly. That leads us to our final point for today, making small, positive changes.
How can I make positive changes?
You can start with little things that can make a big difference,
For example,
like saying thank you more often or giving a genuine compliment.
you're right. They're small gestures, but they can definitely brighten someone's day.
Positive words have a powerful effect. So instead of using them to hurt people, let's use them to make others feel better.
What else can I do?
Well, let's try to focus on the positive side of things.
Even on my bad days?
Would you be surprised if I said changing your mindset can make you a happier person?
Really?
Really, when you change yourself for the better, both you and others benefit.
It sounds like a win-win to me.
Exactly.
Well, now I feel much better if I happen to be a toxic person.
Hey, I don't think you're toxic at all, Leo. But remember, nobody's perfect. We all have our ups and downs. The important thing is we're trying to be better.
You're so kind, Gwen.
Thank you. Responsibility, meaning a duty or job you are expected to do. Example, It is your responsibility to finish your homework. Apologize, meaning to say sorry for something you did wrong. Example, he apologized for being late to the meeting. Respect, meaning to show care and consideration for someone or something. Example, you should respect your teacher's rules. Effect, meaning a change that happens because of something else. Example, the new rules had a positive effect on the team. Benefit, meaning to gain or receive something good from something. Example, you will benefit from studying hard. And that brings us to the end of today's podcast episode.
So my friends, keep these tips in mind as you go about your day.
You might be surprised at how much of a difference they can make.
Thanks for joining us for this important discussion, everyone. We hope you found it helpful.
Don't forget to check the free PDF in the description for more useful vocabulary.
We'll see you next time on Podcast and Chill. Until then, keep working on being the best version of yourself.
Bye for now, and take care.